Hey guys, what's up? It is the one and only RJ21 here, and today I'm going to be recapping the events of week 10 of Big Brother 25 and giving my updated power rankings. Week 10 started off with Bowie Jane winning HOH in probably one of the funniest tiebreaker HOH questions in all of Big Brother history. Now, with Bowie Jane being HOH, she wanted to get the least blood on her hands. However, the two sides of her alliances wanted different things. Corey and America wanted Blue and Cameron up, while Matt, Jag, and Cameron wanted Corey and America up. Instead of choosing one side, Bowie Jane decides to do what's best for her game and nominates Cirie and Felicia, as she never really fully trusted them after the red blindside, with Cirie being her main target. Just before the veto competition, Cameron tells Jag about his suspicions about Bowie Jane because of her hesitancy to nominate Corey and America, saying that there might be some validity to that supposed alliance. Jag then weaponizes this information against Cameron and tells Bowie Jane that Cameron is spreading these rumors about her, ultimately sealing his fate if he doesn't win veto. Now, Bowie Jane, Cirie, Felicia, along with Matt, Jag, and America all compete in OTEV the Zinging Robot, basically forming together the OTEV veto competition and the Zingbot competition, morphing them together into one. And it ends up with Jag being the one to win this veto, essentially forcing Bowie Jane's hand into nominating Cameron. Despite Cameron's efforts to talk with Bowie Jane and his former fugitives at the veto ceremony, Jag uses the power of veto on Felicia, and Bowie Jane nominates Cameron as the replacement nominee, formally backdooring him. Despite Cameron's efforts to try and blow up Matt and Jag, it was all for naught, as come eviction night, Cameron was evicted by a unanimous vote of 6-0, finally becoming the first member of the jury of day 72. The house dynamics have shifted a little bit, maybe not as much as when Corey and America flipped the vote on Izzy, but they still have shifted a little bit, with Cameron planting seeds of doubt throughout the entire house about how much of a power duo Matt and Jag are and how well insulated they are with the entire house. People such as Corey and Cirie started comparing notes and realized that Matt and Jag really are the center of this house and hold all of the power. Are they actually actively trying to make a move against Matt and Jag? Maybe not as much, but they are considering it much more than they did in the past, weakening Matt and Jag's overall stranglehold on the house. However, it is still a very Matt and Jag centric house, as people like Blue are unwilling to believe that Matt and Jag are actually turning against them or turning against her, and she still wants to be blindly loyal to them, even though Matt and Jag are only setting themselves up for the future. As it stands right now, Matt and Jag still currently have the best chances of making it far in the game, and everybody else seems to just be an obstacle that is eventually going to be taken out, leading to one of the Minutemen winning the season.
Hey everybody, post-production Russell here. So this part of the video actually got corrupted, so I'm currently filming this in post, but just so everybody's aware, this video was filmed after the HOH competition and the nomination ceremony, so I did know who the HOH was and who they nominated. This video was also filmed after the announcement of the Comic Verse week, so the announcement of the Secret Invisible HOH and the BB Power of Multiplicity for the veto, so those things will also be impacting the power rankings. But with all of that information out of the way, let's get into the power rankings.
At number 9, the most recently evicted HouseGuest and the first member of the jury, we have Cameron. And finally they got this guy out of the house, man. Like, he was like the cockroach that you tried to kill and it just kept coming back to life. Like, he literally came back to life. Like, he was literally evicted pre-jury, but then won the resurrection comp to come back and then won his way to jury and then was taken out at the very first opportunity. Like, he was super backdoored. Like, he couldn't play in HOH and he couldn't play in veto. Like, he was super backdoored. And I'll just say it, Cameron played a horrible game this season. I don't think he is the worst player. However, when I do like the end of the season like player ranking, he might be the worst player, but he was horrible. He was horrible. He was like the reincarnation of Frank from Big Brother 14, like competition prowess, underdog status, horrible social game, even the curly hair. Like, he was literally the reincarnation of Frank from Big Brother 14. And because of that, he might actually win America's Favorite HouseGuest. And if that happens, I'm going to be so disappointed and I'm going to be so upset about that. But it makes sense because he was the underdog and he did have this really interesting arc throughout the entire season. I personally really liked him in the diary room because it felt like he was being very genuine. I at least thought he was being pretty genuine in his thoughts about the game and the people he trusted. And so I found his diary rooms pretty enjoyable. I thought he understood his character. He recognized that and he portrayed that very well. I personally like that. Him on the live feeds is a whole different thing because, like, God, that guy was just unbearable on the live feeds. But I digress. He's out of the game now. He's going to be the first juror. I don't think he's going to be a bitter juror. It seems like he has a lot of respect for the people left in the game. Maybe not as much for Bowie, Jane, and Jag, but for Suri, definitely. And I definitely could see him still being a very fair juror in deciding who he's going to vote for to win. And I just realized that we're going to have to get like so many jury segments of just Cameron greeting people. And that's going to be like so like annoying to watch. Like, oh my God. But that's it about Cameron. I can finally stop talking about him in these videos and I can finally move on as he is stuck here at number 9. Now we can talk about players that are actually still in the game. At number 8, the person I think that is in the worst position in the house is Blue. And Blue shouldn't have been the target this week. Blue is nominated for eviction and is the target, but she really shouldn't be the target. She is a big threat, but for the person who is the HOH, being Jag, Blue should not be Jag's primary target. It's very clear that Jag is loyal to the Unreliables, but this week would have been the perfect week to go after a much bigger threat. But instead, Blue is the target. And I think that's just a testament to how bad Blue's position is in the game, to the point where she is blindly loyal to Matt and Jag. Like, blindly loyal. And yet, they're still targeting Blue because she is seen as that unvaluable of an asset to their games. Blue shouldn't be the target. She really shouldn't. There are much bigger threats in the house that need to be taken out, but instead, Blue is the target. She doesn't have anybody really fighting for her. The only person I can imagine taking Blue off the block besides herself is Suri. And we all know that Suri is absolutely horrible in competitions. I think throughout her entire reality TV career, she's won like one individual challenge, and it was like one of those like chopping ones. I think it was in Survivor. It was like a quiz comp, but I digress. Still though, like, Suri can't win a comp to save her life. And if Suri can't win and Blue can't win, then Blue is screwed. If Blue stays on the block come eviction night, I think next to basically anybody except for maybe Corey or America, Blue is going to be the one going home, and she's going to be the second juror. And the worst part is that she still trusts Matt and Jag. Maybe not as much as she did in the past, but she still trusts them. And it's ironic because Blue was the one who told Jag to go up on the block the week that Red went home. Blue basically voluntold Jag to go up on the block, and Blue was unloyal to him then, but now Jag is unloyal to her now when she needs his loyalty the most. So I think it's the most like karma for her to just be like, oh, I don't need you anymore, and then just throw him to the side. But now when she needs him the most, he's not there. And that is just a horrible just like testament to her game and how bad of a player she is. I do think that she does have potential to do great. I think the week that she influenced Cameron to backdoor Corey, I think that was a display of how she can do very good work. The only issue is that she's not as good at portraying or vocalizing or articulating her points as like Corey or Jag or Matt, and I think that's definitely an issue for her game. But I think Blue could scramble her way out of this, but I don't see it being very likely. She has no real allies to save her, and she's the target, and unless she wants a comp to save herself, she's probably going home, and that sucks for her, which is why I have her here at number 8. At number 7, I have Felicia. At number 7, I have Felicia. And Felicia's in a very similar spot to Blue, except she just has more. Felicia has more allies in the game that are willing to save her than Blue. Like, I think Felicia does have Suri just like Blue, and I think Felicia also does have like, I'm gonna redo this take because my ear is itchy, and I'm like, I think Felicia just has more. She's more of an asset than a liability. At number seven, I have Felicia, and the only reason Felicia is higher than Blue is because I think Felicia has just more than Blue. I think Felicia has more people willing to keep her around than Blue. I think Felicia isn't as big of a target as Blue. I think Felicia is seen as much more of a GOAT than Blue. I think Felicia's in a very poor position, but is just seen as somebody who's easier to take to the end as opposed to Blue. Blue is a threat. Felicia isn't perceived as a threat. In the beginning of the game, Felicia was a huge jury threat, but now with everything that's been going on, everybody's starting to perceive Felicia as just, oh, she's just this player who's willing to just confront people and be openly blunt and direct, and nobody's really taking her seriously in the game. And that's really bad for her jury chances. But in terms of positioning, she's at the bottom of the house. Like, her, Blue, and Suri are at like the bottom of the house. But at least Suri has been able to make inroads with the people in power to take herself off the bottom, whereas Felicia and Blue have just not been able to do that at all. Felicia is now becoming the perpetual pawn. This is her 5th time on the block now, the same amount of times Cameron has been on the block. And if Felicia survives this week, she's probably going to continue being a pawn until she's taken out in probably like 5th or 6th place. And that's not really screaming good for her endgame. I've talked about in the past about longevity, but I think we're past that point where longevity is a factor, because we're not really talking about like, oh, longevity in terms of like, oh, how am I going to make it to the end? Because the end is literally a month away. Right now, it's all about how do you get to the end game. And I don't think Felicia has a path to that end game. I think she definitely has a more clear chance of making a path to her endgame as opposed to Blue, but still there's not that much of a chance for Felicia to make it there, and that concerns me about her game. I think Felicia is not as socially adaptable as Blue, but I think Felicia is just somebody people are willing to take further into the game than Blue, and because of that, I have to keep Felicia here at number 7. At number 6, I have Corey, and Corey is just not doing as well as he was in the past. He is very much an open target. Everybody is still on the anti-Corey train, and everybody wants to get Corey out. If Corey, America, Matt, or Jag, or maybe even just Jag, if one of the 3 unreliables didn't win HOH, Corey would be on the block, and Corey would probably be the target, and Corey would probably go home. And even with this whole like comic verse week, Corey still has a chance of going home. If Suri wins this sort of like double veto or this boomerang veto, then if something happens where Suri wins a veto, takes both Blue and Felicia on the block, Corey goes up, Corey goes home, and that's going to be and that's just a horrible spot for his game to be in the first place. I think Corey has been getting a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant, a little too comfortable for his position in the game. He recognizes he's a target, but I don't see him actively making moves to take the target off of his back. He has ammunition against Matt and Jag, but he's unwilling to unload that information. And I think he needs to at this point. We're at the final 8. We're at the final 8, and he needs to recognize that if he wants to move forward, he has to do something with this information. There's no longer the chance for him to just, oh, let me play it safe and let me sit on this information until later. No, this is literally like the end. Like, you need to be making moves now, and he's just unwilling to do that. And that's what concerns me the most about his game, is that he recognizes what he needs to do, but he's just not doing it. And I really wish that he could. I just really wish he could do something with this information, because it would shake up the house entirely. He's done it once before. He can do it again. It's just, will he do it? And will he do it in time? Because if he does it too late, he's not going to have the numbers to keep himself safe. Right now, he can rally numbers. He has America and himself. He can get Suri and he can get Felicia. That's 4 going into the final 7 if Blue is taken out. If Corey, America, Suri, or Felicia win HOH, they could easily put Matt and Jag up and then send one of them out. It just seems like Corey is unwilling to do that as of right now. Could those plans change? Yes, of course, because Corey is a smart player. He's a good player. He recognizes what he needs to do and supposedly acts to do it. It's just in this instance, he's not doing that. And I just really wish he could. And I really wish he would. And I feel like if the opportunity was thrust upon him, he would take it. It's just a matter of him just not being able to take that shot. And that's horrible for his game. If he doesn't get Matt or Jag out in one of the next 2 weeks, he loses. I don't think he can win if Matt or Jag are anywhere close to that final 6. I think he needs to get at least one of them out next week. Because if they're both in final 6, they're just going to comp out, and Corey's going to get taken out way sooner than he would like. And that's horrible for his game, and that's why I have to keep him here at number 6. At number 5, I have America. And America is basically Corey, except she doesn't have as big of a target on her back. I do think that America doesn't have as strong of social bonds with other people in the house as Corey, but she's not as big of a target as Corey. Now, is there a possibility that Corey could rally the votes to flip the votes onto America and send America out? Yes, of course. But I don't think that's going to happen because America is just seen as a non-threat right now. And I think that's for the wrong reasons. I think America isn't seen as a threat because she's being perceived as an easy beat. Right now, with the general landscape of the house, the only person that America could realistically or consistently beat in this final 2 is Blue. And Blue's the target this week. And it makes no sense. And America has been trying to align with Blue, but Blue keeps turning her back on America to the point where Matt and Jag are like, okay, yeah, let's just get Blue out now to weaken America. Because now America doesn't win against anybody in a final 2. Maybe against the Felicia, maybe against the Bowie Jane, but I think that's just so unlikely. I don't really see that path forward for her. So in terms of jury chances, she's basically screwed. However, in terms of staying in the game, I think she definitely has a lot more longevity. Sorry, I just said I wasn't going to be talking about longevity. But in terms of making it to the end game, I think America has a much better chance of that than Corey. Obviously, if something goes weird with the veto where Corey ends up being safe, then yeah, America's probably going to be taken out sooner rather than later. But still, I think America has a little more time to lay under the radar before anything gets too serious for her. I think America just needs to be more proactive. I think she just needs to be more strategically aggressive with her gameplay. I think she needs to just recognize where she is in the house, because right now she knows she's with Corey. She knows that 100%. But everything else she has uncertainty and unsureness about, and she really needs to solidify her reads on the house. Even if they're incorrect, she still needs to solidify something to make some sort of move to prop herself up as a player. Nobody has really considered America a threat until since the pressure cooker. No one has considered America a competition threat or any sort of threat since the pressure cooker. She's not seen as a strategic threat because that's Corey. She's not seen as a physical threat because she can't win anything. And socially, she's just not as good as other people in the house. People like Matt, Suri, Jagger, even Corey are much better socially than her. So overall, she's not seen as a threat. And she needs to make herself a threat. Maybe not a threat that needs to be taken out next week, but she needs to make herself be known as a player. And she hasn't done that. And I think that's going to be her detriment in this game. And she needs to fix that. I don't know how many times I need to reiterate it. She needs to fix her game. And I don't know if she has the time to do it. Right now, socially, she's fine. But in terms of jury chances, it's bar none. She has 0 chances. And because of that, I have to just keep America here at number 5. At number 4, I have Suri. And Suri is this high despite being in a very low position, right? She's on the bottom of the house with Felicia, Blue, and they're seen as a trio that can easily be rotated around in terms of pawns. But Suri has much better social ties with the rest of the house than Blue or Felicia. Suri has a really strong bond with Matt and Jag. She has a really strong bond with Corey and America, and she's feeding both of these sides information saying, oh yeah, I'm willing to take a shot at the other person, and because both sides trust her, they want to keep her around. Maybe more so as a number rather than a pawn like a Felicia. Suri just has more inherent value in the game in the eyes of these players as opposed to her allies. That's why she's not on the bottom of the house. She's been playing under the radar, but under the radar intentionally. With somebody like Miko, who was playing under the radar, who just eventually fizzled out and got fatigued, Suri is actively being passive. As paradoxical as that sounds, Suri being so passive, so under the radar, so laid back is making people trust her more because she's taken that time to solidify her social bonds, to solidify the numbers she needs to go forward in this game. She can't win a competition, but at this point she might not even need to win a competition because she could just influence other people to take shots at each other. Obviously, there are some people who aren't going to fall for that, somebody like a Bowie Jane, but that's only one person. If Matt and Jag think Cirie is going to take a shot at Corey in America, they're going to keep Cirie around, and vice versa. So Cirie has a lot of like runway to make it to the end game. It's just a matter of will she be able to make it to that finale? Because I think eventually people are going to clock that Cirie is a big threat and Cirie needs to be taken out and she can't win a competition to keep herself safe. Eventually her magical mist is going to run out and they're eventually going to take Cirie out right before the end. And that is going to be absolutely heartbreaking to watch if it does happen. But I do have a lot of confidence that Cirie will be able to fix her position in the house. If she can sort of maintain this middle of the road mediator role between the two, then I think Cirie is going to be in a great position moving forward. And I think Cirie is probably primed to like do well in this end game. It's just going to be very situational for her, and because of the high variance in her overall position within the game right now, I have to keep Cirie here at number 4. At number 3, I have the outgoing HOH, the one and only Bowie Jane. And I think Bowie Jane has played her floater position beautifully. She should not have come out of this HOH in a good position. Yes, she has. She's really solidified that 3-person alliance with Matt and Jag. She really has a chance of she really has a good chance of making it to that final 3. I think with all of the duos in the house, Bowie Jane is primed to be taken to the end. Unless Cirie pulls like a Courtney from Survivor Panama and takes her out because of how likely she is to make it to the end game, Bowie Jane has really good chances of making it to that final 3. I think Matt and Jag take Bowie to the end because they think they can beat Bowie in a physical comp and they can take each other. Same thing with Corey and America. Same thing with Cirie and Felicia. I think everybody wants to take Bowie Jane to the end. And that is great for her because if she's guaranteed the end game, she only needs to win 2 comps and she's right there in that final 2. Her jury chances are definitely questionable because I definitely do question her ability to articulate her game. But with her being a barrister, that might actually not be an issue for her. It's just a matter of does she have a game to prop up. As it stands right now, not really, because not a lot of people are really recognizing the floater game Bowie Jane is playing. People are perceiving Bowie Jane as just aloof and a non-threat. And if that persists, then Bowie Jane's gonna have 0 jury chances, just like a Felicia, just like a Blue. She's not gonna have any jury chances in the end, and that's horrible for her. But in terms of her position within the house, she's in an amazing position. She's in an amazing position, and I really don't see Bowie Jane going home anytime soon. Unless something weird goes on with this BB power of multiplicity where Cirie wins like a boomerang veto, saves both Blue and Felicia. Bowie Jane somehow goes up on the block because Jag still wants to protect Corey. Like, if something like that happens, then I definitely do see some danger for Bowie Jane. But as it stands right now, Bowie Jane is positioned very well. She's very well insulated within the house, and she's not on anybody's radar as a threat. And that is great for her game. And that is why I have to keep her here at number 3. At number 2, the current invisible HOH, I have Jag. And Jag made a weak move this week. This would have been the perfect time to take a shot at Corey in America, but instead he used this to nominate Blue and Felicia. Obviously, I have a lot of qualms with that. I think there's a lot of issues with him targeting Blue and Felicia. If you take out one of Corey or America, there's still going to be one of that duo left. And 2 numbers is always going to be stronger than 1. So why would you not try... Oh, I just smacked the camera. Sorry. Why would you not try and weaken those 2 to make it at least an even 1-on-1? So these 2 will always still be targeting each other. It doesn't make sense. Corey is still being protected by Jag. For as unreliable as the Unreliables alliance name is, Jag is staying super loyal to that 3-person core they have. The show and the episodes aren't portraying that alliance at all, despite of how integral of a piece it is to the overall structure of gameplay that's happening right now. It almost feels like Jag's real final 3 is with the Unreliables. Obviously, I don't think that's true, but that's just how it seems because of how much Jag is protecting Corey and America. Obviously, Jag is talking about in the diary room how it's gonna be Corey and America's time, and I'm just waiting to see it happen. I'm really just waiting to see it happen because Jag, as it stands right now, has been like all talk about needing to get them out. I think Jag does recognize that Corey and America are bigger threats than Blue, but he's still choosing to target Blue because Blue just isn't as much of an asset to him, which is completely fair. I just don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? I just really don't agree with his choice to target Blue. I feel like it could have been a bigger move. It could have been a flashier move. It could have been a much stronger move for his resume, for him to take a shot at Corey in America when nobody else could have done so. You know, and I just really question that. Jag is still in an amazing position. He's still literally controlling the house with Matt. He's running basically the entire game as of right now. I would have never thought it was going to happen based on how he was playing in the beginning of the season, but he's running things right now. He's essentially running the table, and everything is almost going his way. I just fear that he's making too many enemies. Cameron's already pretty bitter at him. If Blue finds out that Jag is the one who took her out, she's going to be super bitter against him. I think he's made really bad social ties with Felicia. I don't know if Corey and America are going to respect his game as much as Matt's. And then Suri, even if Suri does support Jag, he has no numbers to win. Jag is like Jag is like on like Paul Abrahamian levels of bad jury management right now. If Jag does not like fix his jury management, if Jag does not really reconcile like the broken bonds that he's creating, he's gonna lose to Matt wholeheartedly. Despite Jag being the much more integral and central strategic figure within the Minutemen alliance, they're not gonna respect him as much because they just don't feel that good about him. And that's what makes me scared for his game, is that he's the one who's being seen as the one making all the shots. He's the one who doesn't have as strong of social ties than Matt, and that's what's going to be his downfall. And because of that, I have to leave Jag here at number 2. At number 1, the person I believe to be in the best position in the house is Matt. And this is Matt's 4th consecutive week I've put him as number 1. And he is just socially dominating this game. Like, maybe not to the extent of like Suri in the beginning of this game, but he is just running things right now. Like, everybody loves Matt. Nobody would want to take a shot at Matt directly. They want to take a shot at the duo of Matt and Jag, but even within that duo, Jag's probably going to be the one who's going to go home because Jag is seen as the much bigger threat. Matt has done such a good job of building these social ties with everybody to the point where everybody loves him, everybody trusts him, and everybody respects him. When Blue was put up on the block, Blue immediately goes to Matt and asks, are one of you two in power? When America is leaking information about Matt and Jag, Blue tells that information to Matt, not Jag. She tells that to Matt because Matt has just built that much trust with everybody in the house. Everybody loves Matt. Everybody trusts Matt. Everybody wants to move forward with Matt despite recognizing how big of a threat he is. If he can maintain this up, Matt is set for the end game. Like, I don't see Matt going home like next week or even the week after. I think Matt is locked in for this end game. I think Matt's going to have a very easy ride to the end as long as nothing blows up. As long as Matt doesn't get sloppy with his gameplay, as long as Matt maintains his bonds, as long as Matt maintains the peace and keeps all of his alliances calm, he's going to run things and he's going to win. Matt has so much more win equity than Jag. Matt actually has people on that jury that are willing to root for him. Even though Matt was involved in the blindside of Cameron, Cameron blames the blindside more on Jag than Matt. If Blue goes home, Blue's gonna blame her eviction on Jag, not Matt. Corey and America have really high respects for Matt's game. Suri and Felicia love Matt, and I think Matt could honestly sweep this endgame. He could sweep a jury vote. If Matt keeps this up, he could make it the entire season without ever being nominated. Him and Bowie Jane are the only 2 people who haven't been nominated yet. And as it stands right now, I don't think Matt's going to get nominated anytime soon. Unless Corey or America win in HOH, I don't think Matt is going to, maybe even a Suri, I don't know. But unless Corey and America win in HOH, Matt isn't touching the block. Matt isn't touching the block in any regards. And I think that's great for his game. And I think if he continues to hold this stranglehold over the social dynamics of the house, he is going to have an easy road to winning this endgame. And he has a very likely shot of winning this game, which is why I have to keep him here at number 1. Overall, the momentum of this season is starting to slow down a little bit. It seems like more and more as the days go by, the social dynamics of the house are solidifying within themselves, and obviously I don't like that, because that means that the gameplay is going to be much more structured, a lot more boring, and obviously I don't want that. I want dynamic gameplay. I want things to be interesting. But with Matt and Jag now being exposed as really controlling the house, and more people being aware of the stranglehold that they hold over the house, people are now more willing to take a shot at one of the two of them, and I think that's going to create for a very interesting conflict in the future. It would be an amazing downfall of the Minutemen. Like, it would be like poetic in some regards. It would be like poetic if like the downfall of the Minutemen was similar to like the downfall of like Izzy and Jared, and like the downfall of Cameron. Like the way that like the fact that like Cameron went home because of Jag, and Cameron was the HOH that sent Jag home, and now Jag was the one who sent Cameron home. It's going to be amazing. That moment was amazing. And if this storyline builds up where Suri is somehow the one who takes down the Minutemen, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible television to watch. But as it stands right now, it's not happening anytime soon, with Jag and Matt just keep winning these competitions. I just hope and pray that something interesting happens. I just hope that something happens that shakes up the game. Not a twist, not a twist, not a twist. No zombies, nothing like that. I don't want anything like that. I just want some sort of dynamic social shift, some sort of change to really shake up the house and really make this endgame interesting. Because the endgame is usually the most boring portion of Big Brother because it's the most predictable. But with this cast, I feel like anything could happen. But that's just my thoughts. What do y'all think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you have any of those, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.